Good evening. Today I have with me a special guest. His name is Tony, and he is a former resident of an infamous prison here in the United States. He served 9 years in a federal prison after he was falsely convicted of forgery. Thankfully, new DNA evidence has acquitted Tony, and he is now living a normal life outside of prison. Tony, tell me about your experience in prison. What was the situation like concerning food, hygiene products, sleeping, and so on?
Hi, thanks for having me on the show. Well, we had 12-hour workdays, and we were paid about $1 a day. With that money, we could buy things from the commissary. The problem was the stuff there was really expensive, and the items that are common in the outside world, like shampoo and extra toilet paper, were luxury items in the prisons. Anytime we took items that were issued to us and altered them, the guards would just take it away on the basis of calling it contraband. In the beginning, I was so focused on getting the appropriate hygiene items, enough food, and proper clothing that all I was doing was surviving.
And what made you want to educate yourself while in prison? What motivated you to act well-mannered when you didn't have to?
Well, health inside the prison was real bad, mentally and physically. I basically woke up one day and said to myself, I'm gonna be nice, no matter what happens, no matter what the guards do, no matter what happens to me, on any given day. So from then on, I started reading everything I could and practicing writing. And I could write letters to the families of the prisoners that couldn't write. And some of the prisoners sort of became my friends because they respected me for it. And we stuck together, and we kind of became family.
Can you tell me some of the worst parts about your experience in prison?
Well, I'd say just the inhumanity of it all. The medical treatment was almost non-existent. There was one prisoner that just rotted from gangrene, just because he got completely neglected. One boy had epilepsy, and all they offered him was ibuprofen, and he died. There was also countless instances of rape, whether between prisoners or guards, and guards would beat you with any slight provocation. They'd pepper spray you for insignificant infractions. They'd even pepper spray you if you were handcuffed. I mean, there was really just no limit at that point. They would lock people up sometimes. They'd lock up people that were enemies just so that they could they would inflict some serious damage on each other and tear each other apart for 24 hours at a time. Others would go mad for long-term solitary confinement. Prisoners died all the time from gang violence. The guards knew about it, and then instead of stopping it, they would encourage it, or they'd just abuse the system, and they'd just exploit it to get inmates to beat each other, just to save each other trouble. And worst part about it was never knowing when your cell door was gonna open and just get beat to death. One man I knew was beaten so badly in the face that he developed a fatal case of hepatitis C in his teeth and jaw.
What's so incredible about Tony was his ability to not give up in the face of constant fear of death. When he was released, his guards didn't trust that he wouldn't go back and kill them because they couldn't understand how Tony had the mental stability of a normal person after experiencing what he did under their hands. In prison, Tony stayed steady, industrious, and never stopped trying to develop himself as an educated or mannered person, despite never seeing many positive outcomes for his efforts. Inside, he gained friends who knew Tony had their backs, but he survived because he was able to act humane in a place where he was being treated like an infectious animal.